Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to Migs TV. I'm Mike, your host. Alright, so today, meron tayong special guest cook. Yan, so cover natin ang pagluluto naman ni Kuya Migs. So it's gonna be preparing, ano nga Kuya? Fried chicken?
Fried chicken lang.
Fried chicken lang naman daw. So, i-interviewin natin siya through the whole process of preparing the chicken, cooking, and then of course serving it to us and then having it for lunch. And let's see. Alright, so join me guys. But before we do so, please don't forget to like, share, and hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you won't miss any videos from Migs TV. Alright. So sa likod Mami, anong niluluto mo? Mami, anong niluluto mo? Miso, yes. So magkakaroon din ng isang episode si Mami on what she's gonna be preparing. But for today, we're gonna be covering Chef Migs. Hey! Hey! Alright, so andito kami, spectators kami ni Meganda. Alright, and myself. Hi! Oh no! Alright, so ano bang question natin kay Migs? So, ang tagal mag-prepare ni Chef Migs naghahanap pa siya ng ingredients niya.
Paminta.
Natin si Mami. So, ang tagal nung master chef natin So, yung munang sous chef ang kakausapin natin. So, anong miso sa ano yan? Miso sa anong isda? Salmon sinigang sa miso. Alright, we're looking forward to that. That's gonna be part of the lunch today together with Chef Migs fried chicken. Yeah.
No intervals na one.
Alright, ito na po. Pini-prepare na ni Chef Migs ang kanyang ingredients. What we see here is what? 2 eggs, breadcrumbs, a chopping board, and flour. Alright, he came prepared. I think he's been doing this for quite a while, so I guess he knows what he's doing. Well,
Where's our flour?
isn't this your flour?
Yeah, I mean, kung sakaling kulang. Maraming
Just in case na kulangin daw. So, yeah. At yung dalawa, BC, Mat.
Hindi ko alam.
Pinag-akalam ko to
Teka lang, relax lang. Mamaya natin sasagutin niya. Busy pa ako
Naalam na ako.
And then, of course, the main ingredient, chicken.
Ice cream.
Ice cream for dessert daw. So, you wanna walk us through, Chef Migs, on what you're doing?
Yes. Paano ka ba-explain? Well, first, lay out your chicken. The pieces that you're gonna cook.
Alright.
Preferably... Nasa ano?
He's lost for words.
Yes.
So anyways,
I'm a loss for words. Hindi ko talaga ako ma-explain. But basically,
Mabilis lang yung...
how I do it, you lay out the chicken because our chicken's usually frozen. So you don't want your chicken frozen. That's a big no-no for chicken. Because the meat will be too tough, obviously. And when you put it in the breading, it won't stick.
that's good to know.
So
Actually, hindi ko rin alam yun. But anyways.
you would want, ideally, you would want your chicken dry or at least room temperature. So this has been sitting in the sink for a while.
Not in the sink, but
Not
in this.
It's just it's outside.
Alright.
So we let it defrost.
Defrost. Okay.
So it's gonna be wet. So typically when you want chicken, it's already prepared, dried. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take pieces of chicken. Hopefully they're still not frozen. They're still a bit frozen, which is unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. But we're gonna deal with this.
So, Chef Migs, may question po.
Mm.
Requirement ba yung earphones while cooking?
No, it helps me focus.
Alright.
Okay.
So we have all of us, we will have our own thing, right? Whenever we cook. I don't have a thing, so you know.
So, yeah, you do not want your chicken to be frozen like this. So even though I know we're gonna be preparing it quickly for lunch, the best thing we could do is pat them down with
This.
a good example is towel tissue to
Alright.
keep them dry.
Mm-hmm.
Enough so that the breading will stick.
Okay, cool.
So you pat them down as so.
So where did you learn this recipe, Chef Migs?
YouTube.
YouTube is your friend.
YouTube
Alright.
is
So
my
how many
friend.
times have you cooked this before? And
I've tried many times and failed.
many times and failed.
But it's all practice.
Pero those failed recipes, sino ang recipient? Sila ba?
Of course.
Oh.
I could be the one eating them. I can eat burnt things. I would have no problem with it. I have no problem eating my own failures.
Alright. So then what are you doing? What oil are you using?
The typical vegetable oil. Canola oil actually.
Canola
Sorry.
oil. Alright.
You can use vegetable oil or whatever oil.
Mhm.
Cooking with olive oil makes it cook faster, but it's not really recommended for chicken.
And why is that so, Chef Migs?
Personally, I just don't want cooking with olive oil.
Alright. Okay.
With chicken. It seems like a waste.
Yeah, true. Actually, gagamitin mo lang yung olive oil very seldom. Kasi pag magpa-fry ka, usually yung mga normal oils lang ang gamitin mo. Tama ba?
Yep. Because for chicken, you want to have them deep fried. When you deep fry them, you cook all sides evenly, and you know.
So, lagi kong problema is yung pag nagpa-fry ako ng chicken, medyo raw yung insides. So, what's the secret in that?
Yeah, it's actually in the frying. Actually, it's also because the status of the chicken before you cook it. Then, so that's why it's very important that it's not tough like this. So when it's tough, coming in fresh from the fridge, it's harder to cook the insides because the heat is gonna have trouble entering the chicken, thus cooking everything equally. Even if you deep fry it, some parts inside will still be raw and uncooked. So you don't want that to happen.
Alright. So, what's the proportion of the eggs? Is it 2 eggs for a whole chicken or?
Well, I'm cooking 6 pieces, but since I'm using water to sort of like
Water is for what?
for the egg wash actually.
Egg wash.
Yeah.
So, egg wash, eggs and water as an egg wash.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because if you use just egg wash, most of the time, even if you breaded it with flour,
Uh-huh.
it won't actually stick.
Hindi ko alam yun. That's a new.
Because when you get to see, no, usually I use 1 egg for 3-4 pieces of chicken,
Okay.
or maybe even 5 pieces.
Will this taste like Jollibee chicken or KFC afterwards?
No.
No?
Nothing like that.
Not something like that. Alright, okay. So this is your own recipe, is that it?
I take inspiration.
Alright. So you learned the basics from YouTube and then you just improvised.
Most of it, yep.
Alright. It's cool.
For the spices, most people would want to bread their chicken on the chopping board. But since we're dealing with tough chicken kasi fresh from the fridge,
It's still frozen.
yeah, it's still too frozen. You don't want to season frozen chicken. So the best case scenario would be to season your breading, which is your flour, your egg wash, and your breadcrumbs.
Your breadcrumbs.
So I don't really take measurements when it comes to seasoning,
I don't as well.
because if you season it too little, it'll be under seasoned, obviously.
Obviously.
Even if you season too much, it'll still be under seasoned. So it's a bit of a hit or miss. So what I do is I tend to add more than usual, so when I mix it up, it spreads evenly. At least in my opinion, that is.
All right. And it's a proven tactic that you've been using since you've been frying chicken.
Up till recently, yes.
All right.
It's been working out, but I still get failures, of course. But
Well, that's when you learn, right?
that's where we learn.
All right, cool. Let's ask the other people. Ano ina-anticipate mo na ba ang chicken ni Chef Migs for lunch?
Sure. Masarap naman yun eh.
Whoa! All right, let's ask Mommy. Mommy, are you excited for the chicken?
Yes, bro.
Medyo madilim. Yan. Yan. So, nasubukan mo na ba yung mga chicken ni Chef Migs even before?
Yes, it is delicious.
Wow. Ako first time kong matatry. So, malamang masarap din yung niluto mo salmon sa miso. Hindi ko lang alam kung magandang partner siya sa chicken, but anyways. So, we'll soon find out.
A few moments later.
So, Chef Migs, aside from chicken, right? So, what else do you usually cook?
This is my specialty. I only fry stuff.
Ha! So, the pork chop that we had last time was actually really good and crunchy, and I was surprised. I cannot even cook it that way, like you do. So, you should give me tips on how to do that. Are you using the same breading approach?
Of
With the
course.
pork chop?
Yes.
All right. So,
This type of breading approach is actually the most effective when it comes to chicken fillet or chicken breast.
all right.
Because with chicken breasts and chicken fillets, you can make them even or like similar to pork chop. Why pork chop is easier cooking than chicken? Because with chicken it comes in different sizes and different proportions. Whereas with pork chops, fillets, breasts, you get a lean, even surface area to work with. So that when you put it in the pan, even if you use not too much oil, you get meat that cooks evenly, and that's all it is actually. If
So-
you want a good tasting meat, cook it evenly, all sides, so that even if you don't have to monitor it, it'll still cook all the sides evenly.
So is the secret letting the fire heat up the oil, or
Preheating the oil is actually what I've been doing recently. Before I didn't do it.
and you work on a very hot oil or a very hot pan? And then you simmer down the fire, or you just
Most people cook
Blast
on
it?
high heat, to which I would say, to them it probably works for them, because I know, as most people do, they preheat their pan.
yeah. All
So
right.
that when you put the chicken in, it's already hot and stuff.
And you're not gonna use the oven, right, to cook the chicken inside out?
No. It's not really in this recipe.
So are you adding what? Cornstarch?
Flour is actually.
Flour.
Actually, it is cornstarch. It's pretty much the same in terms of the consistency. Not by a large margin, of course.
So just for the sake of your audience, right? So would you want to break down the ingredients from top to bottom? What you use and what, the measurements probably?
So I'm using a very simple breading mix, the typical that you would find in any household. So you would use cornstarch or flour can work. You want to use cornstarch as it is more efficient for frying.
All right.
But the flour's purpose is basically to just coat the chicken to make it tender when you cook it.
All right.
So the egg wash, you can use how many eggs you want, but I would suggest if you're using the water method, if you're only cooking about 3, 4, maybe even 5 pieces of chicken, different proportions, you'll be okay with just 1 egg and maybe a quarter, maybe even less of a bottle of water. Or not a bottle, a glass of water, sorry.
Actually, I never use water with my egg wash, but that's good to know. All right, cool.
Not
And then?
everyone uses water on their egg wash, but the thing with it, if it's just egg wash, sometimes it doesn't stick, especially with this kind of chicken who's literally just fresh out of the fridge.
The freezer. All right. All right.
So you only want to use egg wash, just egg wash without water, when the chicken is dry and in room temperature, when it's, you know, it's moving around, it's not frozen, it's not tough like this chicken right here. So it's not like my ideal. This is not the ideal setup for cooking frozen chicken. You never want to cook your chicken frozen, but since we're gonna eat, I have to cook this frozen, so it's a bit
Of a challenge.
of a challenge.
All right.
So
Okay.
when it comes to taste, it's probably gonna be under seasoned. Sometimes it's
Hope
probably
not.
gonna be undercooked.
We're looking forward to your chicken today.
Hopefully it'll not be.
And then you failed to mention this.
Yeah. The most important panko, or basically just breadcrumbs.
Panko?
Panko.
All right.
Yeah. So what panko means, or just I know from what I've gathered, is just the thicker side of breadcrumbs, basically.
Okay.
What brings out its texture, its crunchiness, and you know, I'm not a chef. Okay, this is just all that I've learned from YouTube.
All right.
Again. So seasoning, you can go whichever direction you want. Salt and pepper is a typical way to go.
You can never go wrong with that.
You can never go wrong with salt and pepper.
All right.
Usually I just add tons and tons of chili powder. So,
Chili powder, but you don't have chili
I
powder.
don't have chili powder, and you know, no one should follow that much chili powder. But
All right.
anyways,
And then of course the chicken and the oil.
chicken and you can use canola, vegetable, just not olive. It's a
All
waste
right.
of olive oil.
Yes.
Olive oil is expensive. Never use it.
All right. Cool.
So when you want to put, if you're gonna wonder how much oil you're gonna put in, the trick is if you have something like a deep fryer, use it and fill that at least half up, enough so that the chicken will be able to, so that the oil will be able to cover an entire chicken portion, so that all sides will cook evenly. Even if it is frozen, just cook it a bit longer and it'll cook on the inside.
All right. Good. So, yan. Yung mga subscribers mo, at least matututo sila from you based on experience, and hopefully, even despite the chicken being so frozen and we are all hungry already, it will still taste good. So, let's wait and see. I think the sister is buying extra oil, so there's not enough oil. As you can see, the oil is not much, so you won't submerge the chicken and cook it properly inside out. So yeah, let's wait and see.
A few moments later.
Of course, like if you haven't used this yet, you have to use it. So we have something that's called, when you're handling chicken, of course, or basically any meat for that matter, when you're dipping it and you're coating it, thanks. Sure. Pa-refill na lang yung bote.
So I think you were trying to say is one dry hand, one wet hand.
Yes.
Ah.
So one wet hand and one dry hand. So what the dry hand means is what you're going to use to coat your chicken with the breading and the panko breadcrumbs and dipping it in
The
the oil. The wet hand is for simply the egg wash. You do not want to use tongs or like anything messy like that, because if you're using tongs, I mean it's fine, but from what I've learned, it's very, I could say, ineffective. Like you don't have the versatility compared to when you're using a hand with a tong or something like that. You won't be able to coat the chicken properly. You won't be able to cover all the sides. Now, cooking with drumsticks is one of the harder parts of cooking chicken, because you won't get every
Nook and cranny.
Yeah. Usually when people cook drumsticks, they cut off this part here, and then they chip away the leg bit so that you're left with the bone. Bone with the meat.
So it's like the lollipop.
That's how they make lollipops.
All right.
Chicken lollipops. From what I've seen in butchering videos. that's
So the
how
first
they-
thing, you dip it first on the flour,
Yeah, we dip
and then
dip it in flour first. Now with your dry hand, you have to let it sit in the egg wash.
All right.
Now you have to make it work with the wet hand. Now you have to coat everything with your wet hand. Now don't be afraid to just put your hands in there, because you'll be separating the wet from the dry. And now see that even with my inexperienced hands, I won't be able to cover everything since it's a drumstick. Of course, this is not made for
Don't
this.
you think that your bowl is a bit small?
It is a bit small,
All
but
right.
this is what I typically use. I was not expecting this to
So Meg, are you anticipating a good fried chicken out of this?
Yeah. Since kamay nang gamit niya.
So that's the best part, is using your hands. So now after putting in an egg wash, you put it on the panko.
put it on the panko.
Just mix it up with your dry hand. Oh, yeah. Usually you would be using a bigger pan or a bigger plate or a bigger bowl so that it will be easier to coat multiple chicken parts.
I
Very
don't
good.
have that luxury.
It's okay. We have one hungry spectator here.
Oh.
This is Chef Meg. So we're gonna be
chef.
we're gonna be covering your cooking skills in the next vlog. So what will you be preparing for us?
Ano bang may?
I mean, we can buy the ingredients you want as long as you know what you want to cook. Wow! We can pick any recipe we want and she's gonna prepare for us.
What?
Oh, yes?
Nagkalderetan tayo.
No?
Adi kaldereta?
Yoo-hoo! Yes, she's gonna cook caldereta. I thought mommy's gonna cook that. But anyways,
Utusan lang din naman ako.
she's gonna ask you to do it for her? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Ah, alright.
May magluto ka ng kaldereta.
Point. So,
Doon ako responsible sa mga lutong ulam. Tapos kanya yung frying.
okay. So as you can see, Chef Mix already put one piece of the chicken in the pan.
Yeah,
Is that a trial chicken?
no, it's not trial chicken. Because if any of you observant viewers out there, if you notice that the chicken wasn't fully coated, it's because the chicken was originally frozen. That's why I advised that if you're gonna cook chicken, make sure that it's not frozen, or at the very least it's not fresh from the fridge, because that's what you're gonna end up with, chicken with a bunch of holes in the breading. So not all sides are I mean, the whole side is still gonna be cooked evenly. It's just not tasty since not everything is covered, and you don't want chicken that's not covered. That'd be gross.
Is uncovered chicken.
Uncovered chicken.
So how many pieces do we have?
And we have a bunch. I didn't really count it since I bought it. I'm gonna cook 6 today. Hopefully.
Only 6? Are you not gonna cook everything?
No. 6 pieces. But looking at it, hopefully not everything.
Alright. So we will pause for a break and then we will see what will be the outcome of the first few batches of chicken that Chef Mix will be preparing for us. So guys, I'll see you later. So by the way guys, wait for our next cover song. But for those yung mga nag-request for Creep and When She Cries, we will try to do it. Kaso wala yung gitara pa ni Kuya Mix eh. So, yung next song nagko-cover namin is pinapractice na ni Meg. We will try to do it for you guys after this vlog. And hopefully you guys wait for it and like it.
Nagpaparinig ka.
So, may pressure kay Meg para matapos niya yung kanyang practice. Okay? Looking good, guys. Alright. Can't wait to taste it.
May makeup pa ako si ikaw tsaka si kuya.
So yun ang magiging next vlog natin.
Gamit yung Young Living brushes.
Yes! So, kailangan ba namin magsabi kung anong gusto namin maging itsura after the makeover? Makeover? What?
Sure, bro. Hindi ko lang kung yung suggestion nyo ibabagay sa isa.
Make me
Bakit?
look like a K-pop artist.
Ayun, K-pop daw si kuya.
K-pop artist.
Ang sa akin, basta, wag lang aahitin ang kilay ko.
Magkaiba ang ahit na bunot.
Ay, wag din bubunutin.
Wala
Alright.
naman akong pangahit.
So, abangan nyo yun, guys. Magkakaroon daw kami ng makeup makeover
Tapos maglalagay ng nose
video.
strips.
Yes, and nose strips. So, basically, Kikay Day. Courtesy of Meg, the Kikay expert. Wow! So, kami lang ni Kuya. Okay, so...
Pangalawang beses na to.
Okay, so looking forward to that. Question ako for public information. So if you're given a choice, which fried chicken would you choose? KFC, McDonald's, or Jollibee?
Jollibee hands down.
Jollibee?
Chicken.
How about you, Meg? Jollibee! How about you, Mami?
Wendy's.
This daw siya. So Jollibee, yeah. So unanimous vote Jollibee. Bakit naman? What's wrong with? I mean, there's nothing wrong with KFC and McDonald's, but what made you choose Jollibee?
I guess compared to two, I were to give them like a score, they'd be both a 10 out of 10. Because for Jollibee, you have the juicy texture and that the breading that's crispy but not overbearing. For Jollibee chicken over others, because they're easy to eat, they're easy to go down on the throat. Personal preference.
True enough. Nang nasa Malaysia pa ako, I usually have KFC. I think it's because of the gravy. Right? But here now, I'm in the Philippines. Jollibee will always be my first choice. Probably second is KFC and then third McDonald's. How about you, Meg?
Jollibee.
And then?
Jollibee.
Jollibee.
Jollibee all the way.
Yeah, kasi juicy yung chicken nila.
True.
Hindi dry.
Actually, juicy nga yung chicken nila. So, sa akin kaya lang talagang winner ang Jollibee is
Childhood bias.
hindi, yung gravy. Sobrang sarap kasi ng gravy. And then, you can get as much gravy as you want. But KFC now are coming up with different kind of fried chicken. So, maybe we should try that. But, what would you think about trying all three chickens and then, we will buy buckets, 3 buckets of McDonald's, fried chicken, Jollibee, and then KFC, and let's see and let's find out what's better.
Maybe they'll finally be able to change my mind.
Yeah. All right. So that's something that we are gonna be looking forward to doing probably a next video. And let's see. The moment na makalabas na tayo, bibili tayo ng ano. So we will do the same thing for donuts. Alright? So I would probably choose Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, and Jayco. Yeah, so we will do that as well. So watch out for that, guys, and let's see who wins the donut and the chicken battle. All right. As you can see, guys, inaahon na ni Chef Migs ang final pieces of the chicken. I think. Alright, so are we ready to eat, Chef Migs? And taste your fried chicken.
Let's go.
Chicken wing,
I'm hungry.
hotdog and bologna, chicken and macaroni.
Alright, so lunch is served. As you can see, like what I mentioned in my previous blog, we are small eaters. So we have fried chicken and we have salmon in miso soup, rice. Are we using ketchup?
You guys.
Alright. So,
Give me my slippers.
judgment is near.
Damn it. Ang init pa amo.
Because I know guys. And I'm
Alright, see you guys. So, later, judge natin yung food ni Kuya.
Don't judge me.
Are you confident that it's...
I'm confident on half of it.
Alright.
chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni.
Meron pa tayong
Chicken with
special...
my homie.
Wow! Meron pa tayong special performance from Megan Audrey Pitulalian. Alright, it's lunchtime.
Pwede naman yun ni Kuya. Maraming sinigang. Kami ko.
So, has a chicken.
So gonna taste it. Wow. Okay. White meat looks pretty good so far.
Woohoo! Pasado na kay isang master chef. Impeccable taste.
No. It's seasoned just right.
Yo!
Well, for me, ewan ko na sa ibang piraso.
Yeah.
And, kailan kaya matitikman tong chicken na to?
Alright. So the big man's gonna taste.
The big man looks crunchy. And let's taste the chicken. Really good.
It's not under seasoned this time.
Wait, let's taste the bread. I gotta hand it to you. It's really good. Bravo.
Mommy, no comments.
Sarap.
Kain ka ng kain dyan, hindi ka nagko-comment. Why?
Yep guys, so as you can see, it's worth the wait. And sana mas maraming pinarito si Kuya. But anyways, magda-lunch muna kami. So, for all of you guys, please do like, share, and hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you won't miss any more videos coming from Migs TV. This is Mike
Meg.
The actual names.
and Mommy. See you guys on the next vid. Bye.
Hindi ka nakita niya. Meg.